This is my friend Kevin, and Kevin is the founder. He's the chair of Lear Capital. It's the gold group that I purchase from regularly. Now, full disclosure, I want everybody to be aware, Lear Capital is a channel sponsor. However, all of the gold and silver I have bought, it's out of my own funds. They don't give them to me, although that would be a cool way to deal with each other. But Kev, thanks for coming on. During my move and stuff, this kind of got delayed, and thanks for being flexible. But tell folks a little bit about you and a little bit about Lear Capital, and then I got some questions that might help folks realize if buying gold or silver might help.
Sure. Yeah, I've been the founder of this company since 1997, and really how I got into the gold market was I was in international banking directly out of college. I spent about 4 years in banking, and we set up international banks, so banks all around the country or all around the world actually, and for people like GE or larger companies for import exportation. And one of the issues that we had back then was there was no euro. We had to, work with the Italian lira or Japanese yen or whatever it was. And somebody one day says, hey, look, why don't we just capitalize these banks with gold and quit hedging all of these different currencies? So they put me in charge of doing that. And I just fell in love with gold, just the history of it and everything that happened, how it can protect people and how it's been appreciating, and it'll give you a little bit of privacy and some of the other things that other investments don't give you. So I left banking, started Lear Capital, and been doing it ever since. So it's a passion of mine.
Awesome. And for those who are maybe interested in checking it out, I'll put the link in the comments. It's leargg.com. And I also have a phone number if you want to write it down. It's 1-800-260-5075. And the first time I ever thought about investing, I called unbeknownst to Kevin and asked a ton of questions, and everybody who took my phone calls, I thought they were stupid questions, but to me they were very important, and they coached me right through it. It was awesome. It was like they were part of the process. So again, thank you for understanding the dumb questions from somebody who's new to this stuff. Tell the folks who are watching, like, why would somebody who doesn't invest in gold, why would they consider it? What good could it bring to them?
I think there's two quick, simple reasons. One is if you just start back from 2000, and we had to pick a date, so let's pick 2000. If you would have put $100,000 in the stock market today, that would be worth about $320,000. If you would have taken $80,000 and put it in the stock market, or $20,000 and put it into the gold market, you'd have $385,000 today. So your bank would have $65,000 more dollars in it over a fairly long period of time. But if we shrink that time period down, a lot of times it continues to happen that way, that gold's out producing, some of the paper investments. But in 2008, when we had a big correction in the market, stocks were down 60, 70% in some cases. The precious metals market over that time period was up 250 to 500, depending on, gold or silver. So it helps you in those rough times, but over long periods of time, because of government spending and printing money, gold becomes more valuable and helps protect your purchasing power.
And that's the reason I decided to do it. When we spoke the first time, I had some stock that was doing okay under the previous administration, and when the new guy took over, it tanked. So I bought some physical gold, and that's another thing I want. Could you tell folks, there's a couple different ways they can get involved. They can buy physical and have it sent right to them, and then IRAs and 401ks. Could you just maybe give them the quick layman's answer on the options you have?
Sure. Yeah, there's a couple of different options which we call home delivery, where we're actually delivering the physical metal to your home or your office or wherever you want it physically delivered. Or we can set up a depository where you're in full control and the metal will be stored for you there. The other way to purchase the physical metal is through your IRA or 401k. So we physically send metal to a depository, and that depository holds your metal there so the government understands that you have that money in an IRA. So you can take a portion of your existing IRA or 401k and move it over. You can take all of it, whatever someone would feel comfortable with diversifying into the market. And really, I love your program because it's just so great with education and things like that. And really, that's what we try to do as well. So if people know the number, they're going to get all this information about the different kinds of metals and the different ways that they can hold it. And I just wanted to do one, special thing for Guns and Gadgets today. If people do go online or they want to call, we're going to credit their account $250. So on their first purchase, they can use that $250. I figured, hey, look, first time, let's do something special and fun, and get people something to get excited about.
That's pretty cool, man. Thank you very much. Lear GG. I didn't even know that was happening, guys. LearGG.com and 800-260-5075. And you can head to the website any time of day, get your investment guide, and learn about ways where you could actually take some of your money and diversify. Could you, for folks who might be thinking about a way to save a little money as 401ks are continuing their issue, what's the percentage of or the recommended amount of somebody's portfolio to go to metals?
We typically that 20% is about where you want to be. That's why I gave you the example 80-20 with the stock example that I gave. That's right around the number. If you're younger, you can increase it a little bit. If you're old, sometimes you want to decrease it. You need that money generating income, to pay for things and so on and so forth. But we kind of go over some of those things with people to make sure, they're not overdoing it.
Okay. And one of the questions I get a ton anytime I mention Lear Capital on the channel is exactly how can it help? Because I say it hedges against inflation. Can you explain it to somebody who might want to understand more about what that is?
Yeah. So think of the money government has done. Again, I'll take you back to the year 2000. So we're sitting in the year 2000, and there's about $7 trillion in federal debt. Okay, and we had the dot happen. Greenspan starts this quantitative easing, and the money printing has not stopped since then. So $1 back then was worth $1, which is worth about 70 cents now, and an ounce of gold was worth $275, worth $2,000 an ounce now. Each time the government prints one of those paper dollars, the dollars that are already out there become worth less and less, but you can't print metal. You can't print gold, only so much is coming out of the ground, so that's going to become more and more valuable over time, and that's what protects your purchasing power, and that's typically what will continue to increase the value of gold and silver, unless you think the government's not going to print any more money, then you don't have to consider it anymore.
Right. And the good thing is, gold has never been worth zero, right? It's always been worth something. And
5,000 year history, we've never been bankrupt, never been worth zero. So you got
right. So somebody who might be watching and thinking about this, what is the value of using Lear Capital to procure their metals?
Well, yeah, great question. I think there's really three. We've been around since 1997. And a lot of companies just in this industry have not been around that long. There's a few, but very few. Secondly, we've done over $3 billion worth of transactions with our customers. And that's, if you go anywhere, it's the largest amount of precious metals that have been physically delivered to people. Thirdly, we have something that no one else has, which is a 24-hour risk-free purchase guarantee. And basically what that is you go through your order with one of our representatives, we put it on a recorded confirmation line, and you immediately get an interface that shows you exactly the price your metal, exactly what that metal is. And for 24 hours, you can sit there and think about it. The metal goes down, it doesn't matter. You can call and cancel at any time. We want people comfortable with what they purchase, and we want them educated. And we feel that giving them 24 hours to decide after they have all the information is the best thing to do.
And when we talked, I bought a bunch more silver than I did gold for a few reasons. Would you recommend people consider silver? Because from what I see, I mean, it's probably got a little bit more bounce in its step now than gold does. What do you think?
Yeah, silver is absolutely on sale right now, and really, it's a double play investment. It's one of the only double play investments that I know out there. Talking about when I say that is, let's say the economy does not go into the recession everybody's talking about, and it just keeps sailing along. The silver that's being gobbled by solar and electric vehicles and batteries and water treatment plants and all sorts of industrial applications, medicine, so on and so on, is absolutely phenomenal. We are eliminating around 1.5 million ounces of silver each and every year. You will never get back. When you put the silver in a solar panel, you can't get it back out. It's a paste. When you put it into water treatment plants, you can't get it back. So the demand for silver is growing faster than we're pulling it out of the ground. So again, you're going to get silver increasing in a great economy. But we already know what silver can do in a bad economy, because if you go back to 2008, it was $49 an ounce, and we're trading at $25 an ounce today. So in a good economy, you might get 15, 20% appreciation over the next couple of years until they figure out how to catch up. In a bad economy, it probably goes back up to its $49 an ounce. If you think about it right now, there's not too many of them can play in both kinds of. Yeah.
Cool. One question I saw popped up that was probably something a lot of people are asking: if somebody wants to buy gold, is it the same price if they choose to buy the physical versus buying or diversifying their 401k or their IRA?
Yeah, basically the same pricing. IRAs can be a little bit more expensive because we have a lot of paperwork and so on and so forth to go through, and that include this $250 credit, because the custodian that we need to hire to do certain things to make sure that money's there so the government knows, that $250 will cover all of that. So in the end, it's going to be almost exactly the same.
Okay, and the third party, that's required by law, correct? When somebody has metals in their retirement?
Right. Just like your 401k or IRA now, that third party is required by law.
Okay, cool. So everybody who's watching is probably a newbie, a rookie considering gold. What are some tips you might have for people, even if they haven't decided yet? Like, what are some things you want to put on their mind?
Well, one of the things I want to put on their mind is just what I was talking about with government printing. I just had a news article sent to me, and the government has spent $1.16 trillion since the beginning of the year over how much they have taken in. So not spent it, they spent, that's how much they've overspent, and they say the budget's going to be $1.5 trillion. Again, if you think the government's going to stop printing money, no reason to own gold and silver. If you believe that the government's going to continue to print money, your dollar is going to keep getting worth less and less and less, and the precious metal should become worth more and more and more. But the number one thing I always tell people: education, education, education. Call in. I'm giving the information away for free, right? Read about it and understand which of those metals may be beneficial to you in your situation. Got a ton of information. I'll send as much as we possibly can. We email a lot of the other reports when people call in and have questions about certain other things. But if you have that education, you're going to feel a heck of a lot better in that investment decision than you are just trying to listen to an eye and, saying, oh, geez, I'm all pumped up today. Let me buy some gold and silver. Get the information. Don't do it today. It takes a week to get it physically, and a second to get it by email, but spend some time with it and then ask questions, make sure it's right for you. That's my biggest recommendation, each time I do one of these.
Lear, you guarantee that what they get is actually what they're buying, versus maybe somebody buys something at a pawn shop, you drill through and you find lead in it, and you guys have a buyback policy?
Well, yes, we have a buyback policy. We've never refused a buyback since 1997 to anyone at any time. We've purchased back millions and millions worth of inventory from other companies who do not have that policy. And we also, through a wholesaler that double checks all of our metals through it's radioactive, and you shoot the bar and it says, hey, look, that's how much gold or silver, platinum, palladium is in there. So all of this, we guarantee the quality of all of our metals when we ship them out.
Cool. And what are some other maybe benefits of somebody actually going to Lear? You're my professional when it comes to metals. Like, what could somebody benefit from dealing with you rather than trying to do it on their own and piecemealing?
Well, other than the 20 guarantee is making sure the metals are real, making sure you have a buyback policy, and we put 2 people on everyone's account. So there's going to be your main representative. When you pick up the phone and call, we bypass the secretary, goes right to your representative to try to get you there as quickly as possible. And if they are out, then you have another representative that's right behind them. So you have somebody to speak to. It's not a different person every time, because you have financial goals that you may have told that person. I want to hold this for a year. I want for 5 years, 10 years, what have you, that they understand. They put it in the notes, but they understand you better. And I don't want to have people shifting around to, a bunch of different people. So I think those are the biggest parts of it, is try to get them educated, give them the same person to talk to so that they feel comfortable, that they have questions about later on, they can get them answered quickly and efficiently. and then have some place to sell it back.
Awesome. And with the, I mean, there's everywhere you look now, somebody's advertising a gold company. Give the folks an idea. How many happy customers do you have? How much in transactions have you guys had? So that people understand that you guys are legit.
Yeah. So we have over 96,000 customers. It's a huge number compared to most people out there. Like I said, we've been in business since 1990, and it's over $3 billion worth of business, meaning we have sent people or sent to an IRA or 401k over $3 billion in physical precious metals since 97. It might even be getting close to $4 billion at this particular time. So at least people can trust that we've been around and we deliver on what we say we're going to do.
I got one question on my end, a little personal side. How we doing as far as demand on gold and silver? Is there a run going on one versus the other? Because I'm almost ready to do some more.
In the past 3 or 4 months, when the banking situation was going on, very, very to get physical silver delivered. It was out there, but to try to get it delivered was very, very difficult because of all the demand. So that's eased up a little bit. But on the silver side, if you get anything happening in the economy right now with the supply that's coming on, it's going to be tough to get. So what usually would take us a week and a half to 2 weeks to deliver was taking up to 4 to 6 weeks to finally get it, just because it took a little longer to get. So gold's a little bit easier right now than silver, but again, I still like the gold market. Would rather wait a little bit of extra time to pick up something that will work in both the kind of economies.
Okay, awesome. And I want to give a testimonial on my end. When I purchased my metals, California had the West Coast had this huge snow damage system with everything was stopped, and my check got stuck somewhere in the system. And to their credit, Kevin waited, honored the deal we made, and what did it take? 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks before that check finally made it through the system and everything was going again. So I thank you, because I know you didn't have to do that, and you earned my business with that. So thank you very much.
Oh yeah, those things happen. It wasn't anything that was on your end, and we're happy to do it. I'm happy to be a part of this program. And again, thanks for the education and everything that you do for people. It's a pleasure sponsoring the program.